know him, but I think he deserves one, so he's going to get one. He writes for The Nation magazine. You've heard him on radio. You've seen him on TV. He's very ardently supporting his home state of Wisconsin, and we all know what happened there, kind of the birth of what we're fighting for. He's been very supportive of the nurses, National Nurses United, and he's been very supportive of the groups that support us. So please welcome John Nichols.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I brought from the woods of Nottingham your Robin Hoods! Because the Robin Hood tax doesn't just stay in the wilderness anymore. It is coming in to our city squares, to our capitals, to the core of government. We are going to sweep across this country and give this nation fair and equitable taxation. Tax the speculators! Brothers and sisters, I come from the state of Wisconsin, where a radical, right-wing governor dared to attack the rights of organized labor, dared to attack our health care rights, dared to attack our basic civil liberties. And we marched into the streets and we occupied our capital and held it for 21 days. But we did not stop there. We went to the public squares because democracy is not just about elections. Democracy is about what we do in the streets of our cities. But they didn't listen to us, and so we gathered 1 million signatures, and on June 5th, we are going to recall and remove Scott Walker as the governor. And I want to tell you where we got our energy and our focus for that struggle. When we were in the early days of the fight, National Nurses United came in and joined us with a message. Their message was, don't blame the workers, blame Wall Street. Blame Wall Street. Brothers and sisters, I wouldn't leave the Wisconsin fight for anything but to be with you today. And I want to emphasize one critical reality. I write about politics, I write about government. I came to Chicago because I wanted to cover the most important political story of our moment, and that is that a bunch of nurses scared away the most powerful leaders in the world. A bunch of nurses made the leaders of the most powerful countries on the planet quake in their boots. But I know how it is. The nurses know this. The nurses understand. Sometimes when you've got good medicine, a patient refuses to take it. And then you have to track that patient down and administer the medicine. The medicine that will cure our economic crisis. The medicine that will make sure that we do not have to cut our civil services, our social services, our schools and education. The medicine that assures we will not have to cut our health care is a financial transactions tax. A Robin Hood tax. A Robin Hood tax. 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 Let me leave you with one thought here. In Wisconsin, there's a poster of a little girl looking up at the camera, and she says, Mama says the governor told us that the millionaire needs my lunch money. say is, if we tax Wall Street, that little girl is going to have all the food, all the health care, all the housing, all the education she needs. This is the fight of our time, and we're going to win it. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Tom Hayden. He's been a progressive advocate. He was from California, one of our assembly people. Very, very adamant about trying to make government work for the people. The quote he used the most was, the best he could do was slow bad things down. And the nurses are going to make sure that we stop them. And so we want to welcome Tom Hayden. Thank you.
Hello, Chicago. I don't mean to use pandering, but I'm the proud brother of a proud nurse. So there you are. It's been 44 years since I had a permit to speak in Chicago. Thank you for making that possible. I want to urge the mayor to see this as an opportunity, as a turning point, to get behind this movement to end these wars and reinvest money in Chicago and in our cities. The mayor has the opportunity to do that, to articulate that. My message to him is permits to march without question. Hands off the nurses, hands off the demonstrators, hands off peace activists. Get behind the cause, Mr. Mayor. I just want to begin and end with a story. I've been active in the peace and justice movements for 50 years. Through Vietnam to the present time, the last 10 years in Afghanistan and Iraq and Pakistan, seen the loss of thousands of lives, seen the veterans' hospitals flooded with people in need and underfunded, seen Americans wonder why we send our sons and daughters off to these wars, seen it again and again. I wish I were alive enough, but I know the story that this goes back for many centuries to when soldiers came back from another war in the Middle East against Muslim people. They staggered back through the forests of England and Europe, in need, unemployed, learned that their king had squandered the money, had taken their land, there was no pay, there were no benefits. And out of that useless expenditure of people's resources for a useless crusade, there came resistance, there came opposition, there came Robin Hood in reality and legend. So nothing could be more appropriate than a Robin Hood tax for this latest madness that we've been through for the past decade. There was Robin Hood, a returning veteran, like those veterans who will throw their medals away in an act of great bravery this weekend in Chicago. There was Maid Marian, who I believe was a nurse. She was a feminist. She was an organic gardener. She was a musician. There was...
It's fine, Grits. You're back just in time for Tom Morello to play. He's up next.
I think he was an ancestor of the Berrigan brothers, forerunner of liberation theology. There was Little John, representing the millers and the pipe trades. There were the married men. I don't really know much about them. Some say they were drunk. Some say they were the forerunners of the LGBT movement. I don't know who the married men are. I've been trying to find out who was the minstrel who led the merry men in the resistance. And the name Morello comes up again and again and again. And so I give you Tom Morello and the merry men.
one of their best friends too, right? Well, this is beautiful. Daily Plaza overfilled. I wonder why this boy with this guitar is such a threat to the city of Chicago. I really want you to give a hearty welcome to Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. No, that's rock music, but he can probably sing it. But I also want to say, turn that music off.
That's an awesome jam, but please turn it off.
I think the city of Chicago has taken control of our sound system. At any rate, now it's Tom Morello with the Night Watchman. Tom has been put up with a lot of things the last week or two, ever since he decided to come here and sing a few ballads for the nurses. In terms of sympathetic ear, voice, Tom's like the new Joe Hill. That's what you need to know about Tom Morello. I mean, he goes where the workers' struggles are. He goes where people's struggles are. He is really one of the greatest guitarists in history. And he's actually a very good friend to all working people. So I really want to give a big welcome to Tom Morello.
It's an honor to be here today in my hometown of Chicago with the Nurses Union. Thank you so much for having me. And I have to thank the Nurses Union for standing up for free speech, thank them for standing up for economic justice, and thank them for standing up for me. Because the mayor's office tried to shut this whole thing down, and for 3 days argued with the nurses. They said, you can have your march, you can have your rally, all you have to do is kick Tom Morello off the bill. And they said, and they looked the mayor's office in the eye, and they looked the city attorneys in the eye, and they looked the North Atlantic Treaty Organization in the eye, and they said in a loud voice, in the words of that old 1990 spiritual, fuck you, I won't do it to Tom. How ridiculous for the mayor's office to think that I would do something that would hurt Chicago or encourage people to do something that would hurt Chicago. I grew up in Libertyville, Illinois, and Chicago is my favorite city in the entire world. I would never do anything to harm her or encourage anyone to harm her. But that doesn't mean I'm not pissed off. That doesn't mean that we're not angry. It's the corporate malfeasance of Wall Street that has torpedoed the global economy and caused such hardship for millions of families around the globe, while they've lined their own pockets with millions of dollars in bonuses for themselves. And I'm angry about that. That sort of economic malfeasance does not happen due to the happenstance of economic spreadsheets. It's a crime, and those criminals are at large. So I'd like to make a suggestion to President Obama. The other Harvard graduate with a Kenyan father from Illinois who's in town today. I'd like to suggest to him that if he doesn't have the courage or the cojones to close Guantanamo Bay, that he takes some of those Wall Street criminals and some of those NATO criminals and he puts them in those animal cages, locks the door, takes away the keys, and plants Rage Against the Machine 24 hours a day. The mayor's office tried to make us feel unwelcome here. Let me tell you, I've been speaking my mind and playing music in this town for over 2 decades, and I know damn well that I am welcome in Chicago, Illinois. But you know who's not welcome here? The G8's not welcome here. They ran away like scared little lambs because they were afraid of the Chicago reception they were going to receive. You know who else is not welcome here? NATO. They've had to call out the National Guard and bus in police officers from 3 surrounding states to protect their conference against the people of Chicago. They're not welcome here. But you know who is welcome here? The Nurses Union is welcome here. Chicago is welcome here. The country are welcome here. Iraq veterans against the war are welcome here. So my message to you is a simple one. This town is our town. I'm the night watchman, and this is a one-man revolution. Streets of New York, cabs don't stop. On the street where I live, they call the cops. Found streets in my garage. Now how about that? So tonight I'm in the bushes with a baseball bat. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. The time is night, the day is dark, there's only one solution. 'Cause I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. On the streets of Havana, I was hugged and kissed. At the Playboy Mansion, I wasn't on the list. On the streets of Chicago, shit's ready to blow. The mayor didn't want me, but I'm ready to go. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. The time is night, the day is dark, there's only one solution. 'Cause I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. Sacrifice in neon lights, slave ships their way. Love money, trust food, and don't be late. In my nightmares, the streets are playing, and in my dreams, it's much the same. In Daily Plaza, they know my name, and if you come this far, brothers and sisters, maybe we're the same. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man revolution. The time is night, the day is dark, there's only one solution. 'Cause I'm a one man, I'm a one man, I'm a one man, one man, one man revolution. Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. I'm proud to stand with the Nurses Union today because for 23 years I've been a member of Los Angeles Local 47 Musicians Union. I'm a proud red card carrying member of the IWW. This next song is a freedom song. This next song, brothers and sisters, is a fighting song. This next song I'm going to play for you brave brothers and sisters today is a union song. For finally workers who are twisted, tricked, and robbed. The peasant in Guatemala in a sweatshop got your job. And she can't eat her family on the pennies that she makes. Meanwhile, the town rates rising up and down the Great Lakes. Hey. Black vegetables left in the field, the signatures smell rotten on the contracts and the deeds that push a reach down to the bottom. They load them up with, they buy another round. I'm heading to the tear gas, begin man, hold your ground. See the shoppers, on their own time. For our brothers, our sisters, coming down that picket line. For the unnamed and unnumbered who struggle brave and long. For the union men and women standing up and standing strong. It's appropriate to cheer loudly now. Single queremos juntos vamos taking on. See, y'all hit them where it hurts and bite the hand that feeds. It might get 1 to 3, a probation and a fine. Or no, I'm gonna be ready right on that front line. Towards the holding secret comments and fighting their own time. There are brothers, our sisters, coming down that picket line. For one name, one number, we celebrate along. For the union men and women standing up and standing strong. Back to the stage. My British scabs across the line, while others stand aside and look. But ain't nobody never got nothing that didn't raise a voice and push. Like the steelworker in Ohio, the miner in West Virginia, the nurses in Chicago, General in Mississippi, to the sweatshops in LA, to the fields of Mission Flat, there's a thundercloud exploding, and I'm free at last, like the hero people something, all in their own time, like our brothers, our sisters, up and down that picket line, like a young man to a number, he settled there and long, like the union men and women stand up and standing strong, like one man to a number, he settled there and long, like the union men and women standing up and standing strong. Fist in the air! Fist in the air! Fist in the air! Fuck yeah! All right, I'd like to bring to the stage hometown hero Tim McElrath from Rise Against. Thank you very much for joining me. Tim, a lifetime crusader for social justice, is joining me. We're going to play a song by a gentleman by the name of Bruce Springsteen, the only boss worth listening to. This is called The Ghost of Tom Jones. Wanted me to like play electric guitar in like a rally thing. I thought, there's no way I'm not going to play some screaming solos in the guitar with the console. Just fucking roll away, there's some place there's no going back. I was a girl, top is coming up over the ridge. Fly under the bridge. There's a line circling around the corner. Welcome to the middle. And we're thinking that cars in the southwest. There's no traffic, there's no place. On the highway, the light today. Everybody knows I'm sitting down here in the campfire, listening for the ghost of Tom Jones.
blood and hatred in the air. With me now, my dear. Oh, the sunset is fighting for a place to stand. Oh, she's in job or hands in hand. Oh, the sunset is calling to the sea. Look at my eyes, you'll see.
Mic check! Mic check! The power has gone off. Either by design or by accident. But that will not stop the show. Hear the guitar? Oh, we're back up. The people united will never be defeated. The electricity coming from the crowd is making this happen. Can I bring Dave Gibbs on stage from the Freedom Fighter Orchestra? You can play this song, Dave? No, we're just doing, okay. This year is the 100th anniversary of the this line is your line. You're staying up, you're going to stand up, yeah. This is the 100th anniversary of the birth of Woody Guthrie. And, he was 100 years old if he was alive, he would be with us in the streets today. This is a song that I learned in Rockland's public grade school in Libertyville, Illinois when I was about 8 years old. But I didn't realize what a radical class war anthem it was because they edited out all of the verses that would indicate such. For your pleasure and your revolutionary fervor today, they're going to reinstate the censored verses of this song. This history's not made by presidents or popes, or kings or queens or generals, or CIA kingpins running dope. History's not made by 9-robed men, or billionaires or bankers. It's not made by them. And they might throw a little money around, wondering who can be bought. And some of you might find them weaker, and some stronger than they thought. But I'll stand or fall right here, in my country, in my home. So I used to think that I was alone, but today I know I'm not alone anymore. This land is your land. We can play the time among us. As I was walking that York highway, I saw the name that had lost my way. I saw the lady, the golden valley. This land is me, and me. This land is her land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Oakwood Walls. This land was made for you and me. Hey, I was walking, I saw a sign there. And that sign said, no trespass. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That sign was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island. From the Redwood Forest to the Oakwood Walls. This land was made for you and me. No better living can ever stop me. As I go walking that freedom highway, nobody living can return back now. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to New York Island, to the Redwood Forest, to the Oakwood Walls. This land was made for you and me. Clap your hands together. Alright, break it down. Alright, this is what we're going to do in our last 90 seconds today. First of all, thank you all very much for coming out in this splendid, radical, yet peaceful rally in the heart of downtown Chicago. We showed those sons of bitches that we can have a radical rally and we can play our asses off at the same time, people. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to say the last secret censored verse of this song and you're going to listen with rapt attention. I'm going to ask you nice people a question. We're going to answer in full throat. We together over here saying this land is your land. As long as anyone's ever said it, under the Picasso branch on the city to try to shut down the show with a week's notice and made the show happen. And then indelibly, and inextricably, we're going to end this thing today. I want everybody in this place, from the front to the back, from the side to the side, from the veterans to the nurses to the undercover plainclothes officers, to think of the money. I understand there's at least 30, but I see a few more. You know, raise your hand, undercover officers, raise your hand. Yep, gotcha. We know. I want everybody in this place, front to back, side to side. When the night watchman gives a signal, we're all going to jump the fuck up. You got that, people? I need to know if you're with us today, people. There's a complicated set of instructions. I'm going to go through it again. I sing the verse, we listen. I ask the question, you answer. Together we sing this thing is very loudly. And when I did the
rings, and I was wondering if this song's been made for you and me. I'm not telling you, but I get the feeling you'd like to hear one more song. 2 weeks we might hear one more song. That's it, we're going to play one more song. All right, here. All right, you know what? Last time I'm going to ask, are we in this together, people? If we're in this together, then why are we up here on stage and we're out there? I'd like all of you to very quickly join us on stage. Not by coming over the barrier, come on this way and let's go up. Come on this way, and everybody on stage that can fit. All of us together. Robin Hood, undercover police officer, come down the socks, put down the beat. Here we go. Thank you. Get them up here. Alright, they're coming around. This is going to start to look pretty exciting real soon. Here we go. Stay on the mic, Tim. Stay on the mic. Fill it up. Now, okay. Who's like really good with videography? You, this guy, I think I look pretty good right there with the camera guy. Okay, you sir, you just put me a videographer with the band. So, okay, this can be on YouTube, you promise me? Nod your head. So, everybody else turn your shit away and let's enjoy the moment we once in our lives. This is not happening on the screen, it's happening right now. You two, guys, you're here, and the winners are your dancers. You're in, you're on stage, you're all together, God documenting the event. That's his job. Alright. Everybody up here, I don't see it. I think there's room for about 55 more people up here. Let's go.
We got 150 people watching right now on this camera on stage too. So.
Are there letting more people up? Let them up. I'm not, let them up. It's going to be a problem. The first problem is that they won't let them up. Let them up. Here we go. There we go. Alright, here we go. Alright. Okay, here they come. Yeah, thank you. There we go. Seriously, let them up. Everyone's going to get this smoothly. Does anyone really enjoy the sound of guitars? I enjoy the sound of guitars too. They're very, very good to me. The people that make the guitars, who used to make them like I'm playing today, used to make them in a factory in Seoul, Korea. The workers in that guitar factory formed a union. Because they formed a union, they were all fired, the factory was shut down and was moved to China. These out-of-work guitar workers came to the United States looking for help. I offered to play a benefit show on their behalf, but the day before the benefit show, the earthquake in Haiti happened. So these out-of-work guitar manufacturers came 6,000 miles. I think more people, it's live TV, it's happening, whatever's happening is going to happen. These guitar makers are kept, sir, I'm sorry, we're just going to need to be a part of the event right now. Okay, thank you. These guitar workers have traveled 6,000 miles looking for financial help, voted to donate all of the profits from their show to the Haiti relief effort. Let's hear it for them. Their selfless act of international solidarity was so inspiring to me that I wrote the song Worldwide Web Post and played it at night. If it's okay with you people, I'd like to put it before the General Assembly that we teach you Worldwide Web songs. We all sing it together here today. Is that cool? All in favor, scream your lungs out. Okay. It goes like this. Tim and Big Heller. Are we right out of two? Stop there? Let me do it. Here we go. This is Worldwide Rebel songs, sing out loud all night long. part during the song, just raise a militant fist in the air and go, nah, 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 and that'll be totally cool. One more practice song. Here we go. Worldwide rebel songs, sing out loud all night long. Hang on, man, it won't be long. Worldwide rebel again. Worldwide rebel songs, sing out loud all night long. Hang on, man, it won't be long. Worldwide rebel songs. That's fantastic. Here we go, there you go. I think we're out of tune there. Here's what we do. 1, 2, Please.
Ellis and Dave Gibbs are back up there. Thank you so much.
We're about to march.
March for Diamond tonight.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Right now?
For all of you who want to keep up the rebel song, you can go.
Actually, right now?
Yeah, and the cops already did.
Anyway, this concludes in a timely fashion our rally.
I'm going to archive that. I'm going to archive that real quick. I'll be right back up live.